I was at Mount St Joseph 3 times. The first time I was a very young sister called Sister Joan. I was there from 1968 to 1970, and as a classroom teacher I was there. I taught RE, English and Geography. And in 1994 I went back to 1999 as the REC and a classroom teacher of RE and English. The late 2010 to early 2012 I was back again for the 3rd time for finance support. So I've had some very happy memories of Mount St Joseph.
So it sounds like you've had a varied experiences, and you've been there across the years, which is great. So you've seen MSJ sort of.
I have, and I've taught with teachers who were girls when I was there the first time.
Oh,
which is
wow.
Even when I went back the second time, some on the staff had been girls in the school when I was there the first time, which was wonderful.
Oh, brilliant.
And I've taught daughters of girls I had taught early too, so it's all in the mix.
Okay.
But before I actually went to Mount St Joseph, I was at St Peter Chanel at Barella, or Regent's Park, and there was a march every year at Toongabbie, and our big thing at Barella was to beat Mount St Joseph. So we marched around the streets with the drum and boy, and a man from the army came and helped us to march. We marched and marched and marched and practiced, but we never beat them.
Oh.
So it was a big thing. So when I went to Mount St Joseph's, the march was finished, so I didn't have to worry about it. But for those years it was a big thing because we were very conscious that Mount St Joseph was a new school and a big reputation in the local area. So
MSJ girls really can do anything.
Absolutely,
so,
and we kept telling them that. And I found they can.
Yeah.
They keep popping up. Over at the school I'm at now, the principal is an MSJ girl.
Wow.
And Year 1 teacher is an MSJ girl whom I actually taught. And last year we had another girl who was there who was an MSJ girl, and the year before that was another one. So they pop up everywhere. Every now and then you go to a bank or something, someone says, "Do I know you?" I say, "Probably." MSJ, yes. So that, I mean, they're everywhere, and they do all sorts of things,
Beautiful.
which is fantastic. Even the Governor of New South Wales.
Well, that's
She was the captain of the school when I was here in the first round. So,
wow, fantastic.
Wonderful. I think probably the most powerful thing is the staff camaraderie, which was really palpable, and I think the staff have a very, very strong Josephite charism, and I think that sort of related itself to the girls. One thing I remember at the MSJ reunion we had some years ago now of the 1969 and 70 girls, they said to us in a speech, we loved Mount St Joseph because the sisters were like us. We felt that they understood us and our family situations, and you know, we really appreciated the fact that you weren't sort of up on a pedestal. You were really ordinary kind of people. So I thought that was very, very powerful, actually. Definitely. And when I went back the second time, of course, some of the teachers were there who'd been there the first time, and also they were students I taught the first time. So the Josephite charism has always been very palpable. And Peru Day was the day that really showed exactly what the girls thought of, you know, social justice and what they can do and how they can make a difference in the world, even the world overseas. You know, they're absolutely passionate about it, and things happened and they all got in and did things, and you know. But I found also that the slightest thing you do makes an impression that you don't realise. True. I used to go across the quadrangle in the mornings to do things in the RE room, for example, and I met this little girl, young girl, who's sitting on the seat, and I'd say good morning to her in the morning, and she'd say good morning, and off we'd go. I didn't meet her in the classroom situation at all over the years, but when she left at the end of year 10, it was in those days, she gave me a beautiful card, and inside it she said how much she appreciated the fact that I said good morning to her with a smile every morning, and I thought, I hadn't even registered, you know. So those things really do make an impression. So I think that's Mary McKillop, you know. It's true. Yes. Looking at everybody and treating them all individually, and with whatever you have, even if it's a smile and a good morning every morning. That's something that really resonates. So I think that's the thing, the Josephite Mary McKillop thing, you know, it's really embedded in the whole school, or it has been in my experience anyway. Yeah,
sounds like I guess there could be new staff members that might be watching this video. So when we talk about charism, I think you've explained it really well, because you've talked about how nobody's greater than anybody else, that we're all in it together, and that everybody deserves to be treated with respect, even if it's a simple, you know, good morning, no matter who you are. Is that, like, when you think about charism, is it sort of those things that you...
It is, and also Mary McKillop thought that education was power, because she gave opportunities of education to people who didn't have it before, and therefore they didn't have any power in this society. So I think what we're giving in all manners of things now, education is power for people to step forward, and we see that in what comes from our students, you know. True. I feel very proud of all the students I've ever taught, actually, because I feel that they've got something, you know. Probably because I came from a working class family, and my father was an immigrant from UK when he was a young lad, a teenager, and my mother was a country woman from a farm out west, and neither of them had a lot of education, but they made sure that we did. And you know, everything was important to them, homework and tables and spelling and that type of thing from early days, you know. So I really feel passionate about the fact that education is the key.
And that everybody deserves to.
Exactly. There are no ups and downs, or you know, you're good for this and you're not good for that, you know. So even if you don't do geography and you do French, that's all right. The hope for the future is Mary McKillop's example and inspiration to students and staff, because it really is something we can all aspire to, I think, you know, because she was an ordinary woman doing extraordinary things in the most unusual kind of situation, when she went against the grain and she fought for what she thought was right, and regardless of who said what to her, you know. And her mother, of course, was her inspiration as well. So strong women, that's what we can be. So I'd say to the girls, be the woman you are, and go for it. You know, shine the light. Into many armor luces, put on the armor light and shine on. You know, so. I think the most important thing is to be, you know, be proud of who you are, and you know that you can do whatever you put your mind to. There are quite a few prominent people who are MSJ students. There's a girl called Jan Fran who you see sometimes in the media. She was the student there when I was there. And just recently, actually, she wrote in the Sydney Herald, Saturday edition, I think it was. She wrote and said that in this time with the bushfires and the drought and everything, we sort of feel, what can we do? What can we do? And she said, I went to a school run by the Sisters of St Joseph's that I haven't thought about them much, but she said Mary McKillop was the one we heard about a lot. And she said, something kept coming to me recently that I heard over and over and over at school, at that school. You can't do nothing, you can't do everything, but you can do something. So she said that's the thing I'm sticking with now in this whole situation of droughts and bushfires and stuff like that.
Yeah, to sort of focus on what we can do.
Exactly. So it hasn't come to her for years, but suddenly in this situation, these words have just come into her life again. So, like, you don't give up.
Yeah.
You know, the smallest thing can carry you through somewhere along the line.
That's true. And I guess our Mary sort of showed us that with her life.
Absolutely.
That she didn't give up when times got tough. She just
carried on.
Carried on in faith too. Yeah.
I saw a beautiful thing the other day about teachers and love, actually. It said, sometimes you come across students who don't want to learn, but you think, I can just love them now, and when they're ready, they will learn. Yeah. So I thought, to me, teaching depends on love, and I think that's what Mary McKillop showed us too. She loved all the children, and I think it's very important, I think, to remember that you can't do everything yourself, but you can do something, and if you love people, it comes through in the end.
Yeah. I guess, do you think that sort of relates back to Corinthians, love is patient?
Absolutely.
Like when you think about love, what do you think of that?
I think of appreciating everyone for who she is, or he is, and loving that person even though you mightn't like them sometimes. It's just, something deeper than liking. And even if you don't really know the person, you can really love who they are or who they can be. Into many armour looches, put on the armour of light, and imagine how the world can be if you are the light. MSJ girls can do anything, and they do. Believe me, they do.